Hey, you old hag. Where's my money? Just how long are you going to try and keep me waiting before you cough up what's mine? Huh? Don't you know that you're supposed to give me my allowance today? I thought I told you that I wanted you to pay me on time every single day. Or is that too hard to figure out for a stupid woman like you? Ginny, I believe that you and I have already talked about your allowance. I told you that last month was going to be the last time that I gave you any money, remember? I told you that because you were starting college that you would be on your own, remember? I explained to you that the allowance would end when you finished high school. We talked about this and you said that you understood what I was saying. What on earth are you talking about? I never, ever remember talking about anything like that at all. You were just delusional and trying to cheat me out of what's rightfully mine. But now I just need you to shut up and pay me. I'm sick of waiting, and I'm even more sick of talking to you. Look, I have told you that I am not going to be paying you anything anymore, okay? Why can't you go and ask your father for these kinds of things? I knew it. I knew there was no point in trying to talk to a fake mother like you. You know, I never even wanted you to marry my dad, right? I was fine when it was just the two of us. You always ruin everything. If you knew what was good for you, you would just shut up and pay me. There's no need to make things this complicated. I'm sorry, Ginny, but if that is the way that you were going to ask for money from me, then I feel even less inclined to pay you than before. Well, it's all your fault that my dad doesn't have any money. I know that you've been using up every last cent of his. He told me all about it. He explained to me how you handle the budget for the house, and that means that you control all of the money. But all I heard when he was telling me that is that you're taking my dad's hard-earned money and using it all for yourself. It's so sad. I can't believe that my dad has been tricked like this. I just wish he would leave you already. You know, sometimes I think about leaving too. But the thing is that isn't a decision that you'll get to make for anyone. That is going to be something that your dad and I talk about and come to a decision on amongst ourselves. But let me make this very clear to you. I am not stealing money or holding your father financially hostage in any way, shape, or form. Okay? I think you might want to go ask your dad about what's really going on one more time. You really have got some nerve, do you know that? Just what makes you think that I want to hear what some old hag like you has to tell me? Anyways, I think I've made myself clear here. Just get the money ready and send it to me as soon as possible, okay? No, it's not okay at all. If you really need money that badly, go and find a job. Daniel, I have seriously had it. I mean it. I am really at my limit right now. I mean, just how long are you going to let Ginny act the way that she does? She is seriously so unbelievable sometimes. Do you know that she thinks that I'm taking all of your money and spending it on myself? This is seriously getting ridiculous.
Aw, come on. She's not that bad. You're just being overdramatic. Besides, you know how girls her age are. But you're the adult. You should just know how to take it and let things slide, right? Surely that isn't too much to ask of you.
Daniel, I am serious. I have half a mind to leave you both. And if nothing happens to change the situation, then I just really might. I mean, just a few minutes ago, she was asking me again about her allowance. But I told her that when she started college, that I wasn't going to be giving her any money at all. I told her that if she wanted someone to give her money, she would either have to get a job and get paid by her boss or go and talk to you.
Laura, please. Don't you think you're just being a little bit stingy? You really need to learn to just let things slide and quit getting so upset over everything. I mean, you do know that if you get upset like that you're only going to give yourself more wrinkles, don't you?
Wow. Well, thank you so much for caring about the state of my face. I'm so glad to know that I have people who listen to what I have to say around here. But I have to say that in the 10 years that we've been married, I feel like I've aged at least 30 years. And I think it's high time I try and make up for all the time I've lost dealing with you and Ginny. So you can pack up your bags and just get out right now, Daniel. Hey, you old hag. What the heck is going on here, huh? You better start explaining things to me right now. Hello, Ginny. I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. It's been a while since we've last talked, hasn't it? Is there something that I can help you with? Do you have any idea how pissed I am at you right now? How dare you try and take that attitude with me? Jenny, I really don't think there is any reason to be talking to me like that, even over text. Now, I have no idea what's got you so upset, but I can guess that this little outburst is going to be followed by you trying to ask me for something.
I know that I only became your daughter when you married my dad, but that still makes me kind of like your real daughter, right?
Wait, what? I have to say that after all that anger and vitriol, I really wasn't expecting you to say something like that.
Well, what I mean is that if you're my mom and I'm your daughter, then you need to pay for my school. If you don't, then I'll talk to my dad and make him divorce you. Is that something you want?
Wait, what? What is going on here?
I just got a letter from my school telling me that my tuition still hasn't been paid. Do you have any idea how embarrassed I was to get that? I went to talk to my dad to ask him why my school wasn't paid for yet, and he told me that you two said that you would pay for it all. So, what I want to know is why you haven't paid my tuition for my program yet, huh? Do you want me to have to drop out or something?
Okay, hold on just a second there. First of all, I never, ever said that I was going to be paying for your tuition. Second of all, just why would I be the person paying for your schooling anyways? I mean, you're still living in that house, right? Just when are you going to move out?
You really have some nerve to talk to your daughter this way. Honestly, I don't think anyone else in the whole world knows how to piss me off quite like you do.
But did you miss the part where I said that I would have my dad divorce you? Because I really will if you're not going to pay for my school.
Unless your whole plan this entire time has been to sabotage my education and make me quit. But I won't let you get away with that. It's just unacceptable, and you need to cough up the money right now.
You really must think the world revolves around you if you think that's any way to get what you want. In fact, reading your messages, I can't help but crack up laughing that you're actually serious about this.
Are you kidding me right now? Is that how unseriously you're taking all of this? You have got to be joking with me right now, right?
No, I'm very serious actually. But anyways, I guess if you're really saying all that, that means you haven't heard anything from your dad, right?
What do you think you're talking about? Didn't you read how I went to my dad and he told me that since you weren't going to pay for my schooling, that it would mean that I'd have to drop out? So that's why you need to cough up the money for my tuition right now. If you don't, then I'm really going to make my dad leave you.
I am not your mom anymore, Ginny.
Wait, what? What are you talking about this time?
Wow, you really don't know about this at all. That's actually incredible. Well then, I guess allow me to be the first person to inform you that your father and I have gotten a divorce. In fact, we've been divorced for quite some time now. So if your dad really did tell you that I was going to be paying for your school, then I'm afraid that he was as sorely mistaken as you are. After all, why in the world would I pay for some girl's school who isn't even a part of my family?
Wait a second. You mean it? You and my dad are really divorced, and you're really not my mom anymore.
Oh man, I really wish that I could see your face right now. But yes, in a nutshell, that is what's going on here. And if I can be honest with you, your father was nothing but lousy trash.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean that he was using all of his salary to pay off his debt up until recently. But he would also keep taking out loans in the meantime. And anyway, since he was so bad with money and never was good at setting any aside, that's why he can't afford to pay for your school. So I suppose that if you really want to stay in your program, that you'll have to go and earn money yourself. Although I did warn you that you'd have to earlier.
But that can't be right. What do you mean that my dad doesn't have any money? You're really trying to tell me that this is all his fault?
Ginny, you are not a little girl anymore. You're in college. Do you really just go through life not thinking deeply on anything? Have you really not realized that every time you needed money, it was me that was giving it to you? For 10 years, I've taken care of you as my own daughter. And I would financially support you just like a mother would her own daughter. But I guess you never, ever thought of it in that way, did you?
No, it's not like that at all. I always thought that you were paying me with money that my dad was earning.
Well, I'm afraid that the money your dad was earning was all going towards his own debt. Every cent that I gave you came from my own earnings. I took care of everything in the house, kept my job, and made sure that you got the support you needed. And yet you insisted on insulting me, calling me an old woman and treating me as if I was a parasite on your family. But now I guess you realize that the only parasites around here were you and your father. So you can threaten me with divorce all you want. It isn't going to change anything now.
Whatever happens next is entirely up to your dad and you.
Oh, wait a second. Does that mean that you're just going to abandon me like this? You're really going to just leave me like this all over a little mistake? Don't you get that you're still like a mother figure or something? Doesn't that mean you have to take care of me? A real mother wouldn't just abandon her daughter like this.
Weren't you the one calling me a fake mother anyways? I'm sorry, but it is far too late for you to try and change your tune now.
I don't believe it. I can't believe that you're really just going to walk out of our lives and leave us like this.
Oh, I think it's perfect. Besides, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I knew that it would be best to wait until you finished high school before leaving your dad. But anyways, I thought you would be a little more grateful to me since I paid for all of your college applications. Although you probably didn't even know that I was the one who did that either. Oh, right, that actually reminds me. You should know that you only have until the end of the month to leave the house.
I don't get it. This is all so much at once. What do you mean I'll have to leave the house? I live here. This is my family's house.
I'm afraid you were wrong again. This house was just a rental.
You can't be serious about that, right?
I haven't lied to you about a single thing yet. Why would I lie about this? Anyways, I was also the one paying for our house, but I've already moved out and informed the leasing company that I would like out of my lease. So you basically don't have any choice but to leave. I don't know what you're going to do with your life from here on out, but you're already 18, so you should be able to figure something out.
And I really have to move out by the end of the month? But that's in 3 days?
Oh yeah, I guess it is. Well, I suppose that means you better get packing, huh?
How the heck am I going to move out all of my things in just 3 days? And where the heck am I supposed to go from here?
Oh, that? I've already talked to your dad all about that.
Wait, really? What did you say to him?
Well, I told them that I wanted you both out of the house and that he should look for some place for you both to live.
That doesn't solve any of the problems that I have right now. I am trying to ask where the heck I should even go.
Yeah, that really isn't my problem. But if you're still in the house after 3 days, legally speaking, you would be trespassing. And then I suppose that would mean the police would have to get involved, and I don't think any of us want that, so...
Well, what about my school? They are demanding that I pay my tuition or else I'll have to drop out.
Oh man, that sounds rough.
Oh, come on. Is that really all you have to say to me about this? I thought you were my mother.
We've already talked about that. I am not your mom, and I don't owe you anything. If you want to go ask your father, maybe you can convince him to take out even more money to pay for your school. Otherwise, you'll just have to go into debt to pay for it. Either that, or you can go out and find a job. Because I already told your dad that I was done paying for anything of yours. But anyways, if you're looking for someone to blame for all of your money troubles right now, I would go talk to your dad.
But this can't be. Neither my dad or I have a single cent left, and now we're about to be kicked out. What are we supposed to do, Mom?
Sorry, were you talking to me? Because I don't know where your mom is.
What are you talking about? You've always been my mom. I've always thought of you that way.
Okay, now we both know that is just a lie. But anyways, your father and I are divorced now, which means that you're finally free from me. I thought this is what you wanted. Anyways, this conversation is just going in circles now. Have a nice life, Jenny. Or don't. I don't really care either way. In the end, Jenny and Daniel barely managed to pack up all their things before they had to leave the house and found themselves homeless. The next semester rolled around and, unable to pay, Jenny was forced to drop out. She tried to reach out to me again, begging for money, a house, food, anything. But I told her that she wasn't getting a penny from me. She thought that I was the one stealing all of her father's money, but he was the one who wouldn't have been able to survive without my help. I tried to warn Jenny that she would have to be more self-sufficient, but she just wouldn't listen. So I really just can't bring myself to feel any kind of pity for her. If you ask me, Jenny and her dad got exactly what they deserved. As for me, after my divorce from Daniel, I moved back to live with my parents for a little bit. I explained what I had been through, and they were more than happy to take me in while I found my feet. It really just goes to show you how important being kind is to those who care about you. You never know when you're going to need help, and it's good to have connections with people who care about you. Even if it wasn't my parents, I had plenty of people who I could go to for help because I always approached the issue of asking for it with humility and tact. I can only hope that Jenny learns a similar lesson as she grows up and gets to reflect on her words and actions.
Letitia, it's been a long time. I have something I'd like to ask you, so I'm wondering if now's an okay time?
Oh, well, if it isn't my little sister Blanca. The one that had her boyfriend stolen by me back in college and then ran back home to her parents crying and then ran off to never come back to us for 7 years. I remember you.
I understand that I've not come home for a very long time now, but I've still kept in touch with Mom and Dad. And the only reason I moved out of the house back then is because I was already planning on living on my own. And what you did to me was just going on at the same time. And as for that man you said you stole from me, he wasn't my boyfriend anymore, and we had already cut ties to one another before you started to date him.
Huh?
I told you time and time again to never go out with that man because he was bad news. But you never listened to me and kept saying that I was trying to keep him to myself and that you were so glad you were able to get him from me.
Huh?
Stop trying to act like you never heard any of that from me. I was never planning on going back out with that man, and the reason for that was pretty clear to me, and I'm sure clear to you now as well.
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember how you were only ever able to go out with him on Fridays? Well, that's because you were only his Friday girl.
What the heck is a Friday girl?
You don't know? There's 5 days during the week, before the weekend, Monday through Friday. And he happened to have a girl for every day of the week that he'd go out with. And he'd do that every week, going back to his Monday girl when the week started again.
What?
Sorry, we got a little off topic there. Now, Letitia. Right now, you're with my husband, Aaron, right?
Huh?
Coming over to my place to make out with him in my bed is absolutely gross, so I'd like for the two of you to stop that right now.
So you found out, huh?
Well, you got that one right.
Well, I guess that sucks, but at least now I don't really need to explain much. But unlike last time, this time I'm actually going to be stealing your man from you, and I'm not going to let him get away from me after. However, what makes this time even more different is that Aaron is married to you.
Well, you're right about that as well.
And one other thing. Just one other thing. I have something to tell you regarding me being with your husband now, and it's the perfect time for this.
What?
I'm pregnant with Aaron's baby.
Huh?
I think the day that he and I first got together was the day he got me pregnant, since we didn't have any protection then. But I'm sure that's a shock to you, since for the longest time now you've been trying for a baby, yet never got pregnant. So I'm sorry that I'll be the one carrying his kid now. I'm saying that I'm sorry that on our first try, we were able to make a baby together and didn't even have to try. And it seems that Aaron has been wanting a baby for so long now, right? Well, I don't think he'll ever be happy with a defect like you, so I'll be getting married to him now.
So this is how you learned about us having trouble making a baby? I see. Well, he and I have been talking to one another for a little while now about getting a divorce and all that comes with it.
Really?
Every single day, he'd blame me for being the reason I could never get pregnant, and it has started to really wear me down a bit. And recently, I just don't feel like being his wife anymore.
What the heck is up with that?
Well, this is all great news for you two. congrats on getting pregnant with him.
Huh? Are you kidding me right now? You've no right being happy about us right now. I'm the one that's won, and you should not be happy about any of that.
And if that's what you want to think, then go right ahead and keep thinking that you've won. But be aware that I will be getting a settlement from the two of you, so don't dilly-dally on that.
Sure, whatever. It seems to me that Aaron is going to be paying for me as well, so you can ask for however much money you'd like from us. I mean, the guy's making around $1 million a year, so he's got the money to pay you off.
I see. So that's why you ended up wanting to steal him from me then.
Blanca, I'm sure you've already heard about us from your older sister, but everything she said was right. I've become a dad now, and I need to be responsible for the baby. And not just that, but I've also fallen in love with Letitia now. So there's nothing more you can do to get me to stay with you.
Hold on a second. I understand that we've been married for 3 years now, and you and I have been unsuccessful at having a baby together. But remember that just a little while before, you and I went in and took a fertility test at the clinic nearby? Right now, we're waiting on the results of that test, right? So what are we going to do about that?
Well, about that. As you can see, me getting your sister pregnant pretty much means that I'm not the one with the problem, so I guess it means you're the unlucky one in all of this, so sorry.
Are you really sure that you getting her pregnant is the right thing to base the answer off of?
I have a very good reason to doubt me being the one that's infertile. So I think I'll stick with the answer being that you're the one with the issues.
Is that so? All right then. But when I get the results from those tests, you don't need to hear about them from me, right? I'm okay to keep that all to myself?
Well, I already know that I'm not the one with the problems, so I don't care to listen to you tell me that you are infertile. And besides, I'm going to be the one paying you for a settlement anyway for being with your sister now, so you can go ahead and just stop talking to me from now on. I've already been given the okay from your parents, so I don't need to hear from you later that you want me back.
I'm sure that my parents aren't okay with what's going on here. Rather, they don't want your kid growing up in a messed up family without a father, so they're letting you stay with her for the baby's sake.
Well, what difference does that make? All that really matters to me now is if that baby is going to be a boy or a girl, and I can't wait to find out.
I see. Well, I'm going to ask for a lawyer to help with the divorce papers and the settlement, so you can wait to hear things from them and handle things.
Sounds good. I'll be waiting.
Blanca! Thank you so much for getting divorced from Aaron. So now, starting today, he is officially my man and nobody can touch him. I'm sure you've already gotten the money from him, right? Well, if you have, that means we can stop talking about all of this now.
I feel as though there might still be things to talk about later, but who cares, right? By the way, I'm pretty surprised to have learned this, but when you were with Aaron, you had a fiancé yourself, right?
I'm sure I did have one, but he was only making around $80,000 a year. That obviously wasn't enough to afford me for the long haul, and seeing a man before my eyes who's making $1 million a year, well, I couldn't just sit around and let him get away. So that's why I jumped on him.
I can't believe what I'm hearing, but I want to know if Aaron had to pay that guy off as well for you.
Well, of course he has. But Aaron has the money to pay him, so I don't mind. And to be honest, if Aaron wasn't going to offer to pay for me during times like these, I'd leave him in a heartbeat.
You seriously only care about people's money, huh?
Don't feel so jealous about me getting to have him now, okay? It's only fair considering I'm the one with the better butt, and I have to say that my waist has slimmed down quite a bit. If it wasn't for those two things, I'm sure your little pencil body could have kept him on your leash. By the way, we're planning to hand in our marriage papers this week. And thank you again for divorcing him before my belly started to get really large with his baby.
Oh, wow, really? That's so great.
Blanca, I'm finally at my final month of the pregnancy.
Is that so? Well, I'm pretty busy now, so I'll talk to you another time.
Wait! I can see that you may want to act all okay about what's happening here, but I can tell you're hurting from all this news.
No, I'm over being upset about what's happened, Letitia.
You're really going to keep trying to act all tough in front of me?
I have to leave my house soon.
Slow down for just a little bit longer. I have just a bit more that I'd like to talk about. I get that you might want to get out and get back to whatever work or hobby you're up to, but you're still a single woman with no man to look forward to, so all that work and time you have to get to is for nothing.
I'm serious about not having the time right now. I'm going to be late for the plans I have to pick someone up.
Oh? You have to get there to see them that badly? Who is it?
My boyfriend.
Huh?
Bye-bye.
You already have another man by your side? What the heck, Blanca? What the hell is this piece of mail? What are these test results?
Oh, so those finally showed up at your place then. Well, when I was unpacking all my things after moving into my new place, I happened to find that at the bottom of one of my boxes. It must have gotten in there by accident, so I'm sorry for keeping you both waiting on the news. But that's why you're only getting those results from me now.
I don't give a crap about how these got here and why. I want to know what all of this means for Aaron. What does it mean he suffers from male infertility? He told me that you're the one that suffers with that crap, not him.
And right before the two of us got divorced, we took some tests to see who was in trouble. But I got results back saying there was nothing wrong with me.
Huh? Hold on a second. That means that I'm in trouble now.
I'm the one that's got issues? Blanca, why did you never tell me all of this sooner when you got the results in?
Well, even if I wanted to tell you, we had already gotten divorced by the time I got your results, and so I didn't really care to tell you.
But back then, there was still a bunch of time before Letitia was going to have her dang baby, right?
Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that my sister was carrying a baby that wasn't your own at the time.
Huh?
You were the one saying that the baby was yours for sure, and telling you both that the baby wasn't yours would have caused her a lot of stress. And it's not good for the baby to stress their mother when they're still inside. Now stop talking to me, Aaron.
He's asking to get a divorce from me. We had to make sure that we weren't just tripping about him not being able to have a baby, and so we took the baby's DNA, and it of course showed that it's not his. When we learned that he couldn't give me a baby, I wanted to start thinking of ways to help fix him and all of that, but why the hell did you not tell the both of us this a whole lot sooner?
Well, when you were talking about stealing him from me, the results hadn't come out yet for the tests we took.
Seriously?
Whether you were planning on taking my husband at the time away from me or not, or whether we had been divorced yet or not, I didn't know a thing about him being 100% infertile. But I'll tell you that when we were talking before the divorce, I asked him if he wanted me to tell him the results or not of the tests when I got them, and he said he didn't care. So stop trying to act as though I was trying to set you both up or anything like that, because I tried to help you both.
For crying out loud. It seems that my ex-boyfriend has found out about all of this now, and he keeps blowing up my phone about wanting me to test and see if he's the father.
Is that right?
No matter what I try and do now, this is all screwed the frick up.
Blanca, how about the two of us get remarried? After hearing that you were able to have a baby now, I guess I can't complain anymore about you, so I think it'd be fine being back together with you and all that. And I get that I can't give you a baby, but hey, at least now we don't have to worry about protection in bed, right? Well, I'm totally alright with us getting things cooking again. And I'm sure you are too. I'm going to start filling out our marriage forms and we'll be over at your place really soon. I can't wait for you to be my wife again. I can't believe it, Blanca. I heard from a friend of mine. You've gotten married to another man now. Please tell me you're at your new place now waiting for me to show up, okay? You still love me and want me to be your husband again, right? Blanca. What is going on here? I just went to the apartment that you and I have been living in together. And when I went and knocked on the door for you to let me in, a couple that I've never seen before opened the dang door up. When I asked the landlord what happened to you, she said the day after you and I got divorced, you moved out of the apartment with all of your things. When you do something as important as that, you have to tell me those things, okay? I even heard from your sister that you never go back to your parents' house. So where the hell have you run off to?
I had totally forgotten that I turned all of the notifications from Aaron off, and so the whole time he was texting me, I never saw a thing. But it's been a week now since his last text, and I have to say I think he's given up on trying to get me to come back. Now to start things off with what happened afterwards, the baby that my sister ended up having turned out to be the baby of a man she used to be engaged to before going to Aaron. Letitia tried to go back to him, asking for the two of them to get back together, but that didn't work. And somewhere along the way, her ex ended up getting custody of the baby and taking it away from her. So for the kid's sake, that's a huge win right there. Anyway, after what happened to her, she went back to her old ways of stealing men from other women, and one day wound up with a man who's in serious debt. As of right now, no one is really sure what happened to her and that man, but they're off the grid now. As for my ex, Aaron, being divorced for a second time due to the fact that the baby was never his and that he couldn't handle the pain of being infertile, he became super depressed and stopped going out and to work. He was later fired from that job and is now having to deal with all sorts of costly things like not being able to pay for his house and having to pay a settlement to Letitia after getting that divorce. So all I can really say about him now is that he's struggling to swim out of the deep end of life.